Hey guys, Dr. Rebecca Warren here. If this is your first time seeing one of my videos, I am a doctor of chiropractic and a functional wellness practitioner. I specialize in women's sex hormones, thyroid hormones, and healing after thyroidectomy. Now, my situation's a little unique. I help women all over the world, but my own health history brought me to where I am today, why I do what I do. And I had my thyroid removed when I was 19 years old, over 18 years ago, in high dose radiation, and was sent on my way. I started having all these symptoms, all these red flags that things weren't okay, like things weren't right with my thyroid hormones. But I was told over and over again that everything looked fine. Now, there's so much information out there, a lot of information of people sharing their experiences post-thyroidectomy and how awful it is. And I'm here to tell you that life after thyroidectomy does not have to suck. Plain and simple, it doesn't. The reason why it sucks is because we are not given the right information. Unfortunately for me, it did suck on and off for years until I started learning and understanding and implementing what I teach. But it does not have to suck. It doesn't. And there's two things that I think are very, very important if you're living post-thyroidectomy. Two things, these two things, they're not specific, do 1, 2, 3, and you're going to be great. They're two mind shift changes, two paradigm shifts that you have to adapt if you want to have a life post-thyroidectomy that doesn't suck, okay? Two things that you have to understand. Number one, the first thing you have to understand is that you are the expert. What does that mean? I've seen so many women through the years that will come in to see me. Again, I've seen people all over, and wherever they're at, they're always like, well, I saw the best endocrinologist. I saw the best doctor. And they said this. And they said, I have to wait this, or I can't try this, or I can't do this test. And here they are sitting in front of me, showing all these red flags that something is up with the hormones, like something is off with her thyroid hormones. But they trust this doctor completely, and they've given up this kind of like responsibility. They've kind of given their health into their hands, and it's just following along with what they're saying. Let me tell you this. Quality of life post-thyroidectomy, there is no long-term studies. You are the study. I like to say it's N equals 1. You are the one. Your body, your health history, how you respond to meds, what your labs look like, what season of life you're in. You are such a unique individual that there's no way that you and I are going to need the same exact thing. It's just, it wouldn't be possible. The same meds, the same dosages forever. That's not how the body is. That's not how the body functions. That's not how the body works. I want you to think about the fact that this thyroid that got removed, no matter whatever reason is that you had it removed, the thyroid was created to be in the body, and it's a powerful organ. It is an organ that affects every single tissue and cell in the body. It does. It affects all of it, all those hormones, right? And this thyroid was very dynamic. It adapted to different needs at different times, morning versus night. If you have a stressful season, if you have a calm season, if you've gained weight, if you've lost weight, the thyroid could adapt to all these different factors to release more, to release less, according to what our body needed at that time. Now, what has happened is we have cut out this dynamic, adaptable organ, and we've been put on a stagnant pill. That pill is not increasing or decreasing according to what happened in my day or what happened in this season of my life. It's the same amount over and over and over again. And our body, if we know one thing about our body, is that our body thrives off diversity. It thrives the ups and downs and being under good stress and then not being under stress. Our body thrives on that. But now we're on this stagnant pill, which means this. You are doing the job of your thyroid. The pill isn't. The pill's giving you the hormone, but you're doing the job now. You've got to keep an eye on your labs. You've got to see, am I on the right meds for me? Am I on the right amount for me? Do I need to change things up? Do I need to increase? Do I need to decrease? You have to be informed about what's going on inside of your body so that when you go into your prescribing doctor, you can have a conversation of, I understand you suggested this, but this is what I've noticed with my health, and I've noticed this with my labs. And you should be able to have that conversation because that doctor can't possibly understand what it's like to be 10 years post-thyroidectomy, right? 15 years, 18 years post-thyroidectomy. That's going to be you. You know that. So you have to come together with their experience with prescribing and your experience of living in the body without a thyroid, okay? And I don't need you guys to be experts at all. Like, I wasn't an expert when I started. I always would I had an email that I would resend to myself every time I had an appointment coming up. So I would sit in my car and like read the email because I couldn't get the labs straight because I didn't want to sound dumb. I wanted to be able to go in there and be like, hey, I noticed this about my free T4 in these last labs and have a conversation. But I had to read it every single time. That was when I was like 19, 20 years old. So if I can do it, you can do it. You don't have to be an expert, but the more you are involved in your healthcare, the better the outcomes across the board. Across the board. So the first mind shift change is that you can no longer give this up. You're not just handing it over. You are an active part of your health, that health journey. You're an active part of the decision making. You're an active part of asking questions. The more involved you are, the better you're going to be. Number one. Number two is that just because you cut out your thyroid does not mean you are well. The thyroid, the tissue, was a symptom of a body that was not adapting to stressors. Whatever caused the problem can still persist to be there. And so your goal post-thyroidectomy is to heal after thyroidectomy. Now, my programs, my Facebook group, whenever I talk about life after thyroidectomy, I call it healing after thyroidectomy because there's still a process. You cut out this thyroid and you think, ooh, good, I'm good to go. And then years pass and you start having all these symptoms and different things pop up. You don't make the connection with the issues you had before thyroidectomy, but it's still there. The connection is there. I'll give you guys a simple example. There's that gallbladder and thyroid hormone connection. You can have gallbladder dysfunction and dysregulation and cause issues with the thyroid and vice versa. So you can cut out the gallbladder, you're still going to have a thyroid issue. Like if your gallbladder is becoming dysfunctional because you had low T3, you cut out the gallbladder, guess what's still there? That dysregulation. And the other way around too, right? If you cut out the thyroid and the gallbladder is contributing to all these issues, whatever they may be, the problem is still there. That's a very simple example. But you have to go into it now. Just because you might feel better on thyroid meds does not mean you are actually better. You have to start prioritizing and investing in your health. Was there a gut issue there? Were some sex hormone issues there? Were adrenal HPA dysregulation? For me, I will give you an example. My journey, I first had to become my best advocate. I fired my doctor. I found a new one that I could have conversations with. And I coach women through this. I coach them how to have these conversations. So I do use what I learned to help other people. But what ended up happening, I started having all these sex hormone issues. I had high estrogen dominance. So I had to work on my estrogen dominance, which had contributed to fibroids. So I had to, there's all that connection there. There's a connection between thyroid, sex hormones, estrogen. So I had to go down that line and support my body's healing process. Because regardless of what you've been told, this idea that your body has failed you is false. Your body wants to be well. It creates these symptoms because there's dysregulation. So post-thyroidectomy, you can start very simple. I did. And then as I learned more, I did more. And so what you want is you want your health to be better 5 years from now, which means the nutrition matters. Food matters. If you're moving, if you're getting sunshine, if you're getting clean air, if you're having clean water, if your lymphatic system is moving, do you have normal bowel movements? Are you menstruating? You can start there. Start with the basics. Look at your environment and look at, what am I doing to support healing? Or am I supporting more stress on my body that it has to deal with on top of living without a thyroid? And you take it one step at a time. The people that I've worked with that I've had, and I've seen it myself in my own health, but the people that I've worked with post-thyroidectomy, that quality of life is just exceptional for them. They just feel great and they feel well. They do those two things. That doesn't mean every single year they're doing all these different health protocols and taking 25 different supplements. Sometimes they're going to take a lot more supplements depending on what their goal is in that season. Sometimes they're going to take less. Sometimes they're really, really active and they're really, really pushing themselves hard with their exercise or movement. Or sometimes their season's really stressful. They're going to do the basics. They're going to try to walk and they're going to try to move. You just got to look at where you're at and just take one step forward when it comes to your health. So life after thyroidectomy doesn't have to suck, but you do have to understand it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. You are your own best expert. Your body wants to heal. Your body wants to be well. You deserve to be well and feel well, and it is possible.